Hi, welcome to my latest video. Today we're going to fit some rubber side strips onto the doors of a Land Rover Freelander 2. This is a 2009 diesel model. I've already fitted the passenger side strips, and then in this video we're going to have a look at fitting the driver's side. So let's have a quick look now for what you'll receive. Bought mine from eBay. It was a seller called Land Rover down in Devon in the UK. I'm sure there are other suppliers available. The box contains the black plastic strips that go on the side of the car, instructions, and then a kind of degreasing, 3M degreasing alcohol wipe, which unfortunately I only get one of those. It's not that good on a hot day like this. It does dry out pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is just wipe down the side of the car with this Method kitchen cleaner. It's just a sort of degreasing surface cleaner, which seems to work perfectly well. Now the actual strips themselves have red adhesive, red tape over the adhesive, a kind of foil end there, which helps in peeling that off when the time comes to fit them on the car. What you'll also need is a ruler to measure up the side of the car, and rather than actually mark the side of the car with a pen or a pencil, I've decided to use some tape. You can use masking tape. I've used this Scotch Guard tape because it's not very sticky, so there's no risk of it ripping the paint off the side of the car. So right, what we'll do now is we'll degrease down the side of the car, and then we'll start measuring up and marking up, ready to fit the strips. Now I've already washed the side of the car. Best not to use car shampoo because it's got wax in it, so I just washed using hot water and a bit of washing up liquid to cut through any sort of grease and wax that's on the side of the car. I've then wiped all the way around with the alcohol wipe. It's a hot day today, and the alcohol wipe was dry in about 5 seconds of wiping the hot car bodywork. So either get yourself some more of those wipes, or I'm just gonna wipe this side of the car down using this sort of kitchen degreaser. Wipe along here, make sure that's really nice and clean, free from any wax or grease. Right. The next thing to do is to measure up on the car doors using the instructions provided. Now they say here that at the back of the car we need to measure up 282 millimeters from the top of the plastic strip here up to about here, and then at the front 257. I'm not going to mark and measure in the middle because the plastic strips actually locate into the groove where the doors join. Okay, so they will actually sit quite nicely sort of here into this groove here and locate, so there's no need to measure up, even though it says in the instructions we need to measure up 273 millimeters up. We don't need to do that because it's pretty obvious when you come to fit them how they go. So we're going to mark up at the back first. So we need to measure up 282 millimeters. So I'm just going to carefully use this ruler against the car and mark with a bit of tape. Now I'm going to measure up about here, mark it about here, just at the bottom of that curve, and we will measure up 282. Be careful not to scratch the car with this metal ruler. 282. There we go. I'll leave a bit of tape there so we can peel it off again quite easily. And then at the front we need to do 257 millimeters up from the bottom of the metal panel at the top of that plastic strip there. 257 Okay. So what I'm going to do now is actually get the plastic strips, put a reasonably large piece of tape at each end, and then offer that up. Now you'll see here, this is what I was talking about, there's a little groove there. If you do the rear piece first, you don't actually need to measure this and mark this because it can only fit in one place. That will go there. Let's just carefully stick that there, and then put this piece here. Be careful to very carefully line that up with the top of the piece of tape that we marked and measured and marked up a minute ago. So let's do the front piece. Put that one on, put the rear of the front piece first, and you want to leave about a millimetre or so beyond the rubber strip, beyond the end of the rubber strip, just so that the where the doors open and close there's a little tiny gap at each end. Put that piece in, and then the front piece. Okay, now this is just a trial fit, so we can now stand back and see what it looks like, and then look down the line and see if that is absolutely level. So I can see that the rear end of the front piece is slightly high. I think it's actually the front and the rear piece. There we go. Right, let's check that. Okay. Right, that looks good. Absolutely straight and level. Right. So now that we know that the positioning is correct, what we can now do is take a tiny bit of tape and put it underneath the front end of the rear piece and the rear end of the front piece. That'll help us when we come to actually fit it for real with the adhesive. Okay, so what we're now going to do is carefully remove these without pulling the paint off. So what I'm going to do now is carefully peel this off. Now the sun's been shining on the side of this car all day, so it's pretty hot. They recommend in the instructions that the car is about 30 degrees. This is pretty warm still. If it's not warm enough, you can always use a hairdryer to sort of warm it up. Right, so what I'm going to now do, you only get one shot at this, you've got to be really careful. Align the front end of the rear piece first. And then straight away push it hard in, to make sure that that piece there is up in that groove and it's absolutely spot on with the bits of tape. Okay, now we're going to do the same on the front. Take that off. the backing tape, and then doing the back of the front piece. Align that with the top of the tape and make sure it's obviously aligned with the piece behind on the other door. And then push that hard in. Right, now the moment of truth. Remove these. Stand back and have a look. There you go, that looks good. Nice and straight, perfectly straight. Great, job done. Thank you very much for watching.